Welcome, everyone. My name is Tracey Carswell. I am so happy to be here. I am going to read this so that I don't go rogue. Really honored and excited to be here with all of you. Thank you for this conversation. Happy Pride Month, right? My name's Tracey. My pronouns are they, them, and I am one of the, that's why this is here. And I am one of the co-founders of the organization Queer Metalsmiths. It's a community space where we honor, center, and uplift two LGBTQIA+ jewelers, metalsmiths, and makers. We are a safe space for queer artists to connect and support each other through visibility within the metalsmithing and craft fields. Our community focuses on representing artists by exhibiting their work, providing educational resources, and functioning as a platform for growth and learning. So we partnered with SNAG for the In Focus exhibition, which was originally created by Sulo B in 2022 in collaboration with SNAG. And I had the honor of curating this year's exhibition alongside Sulo and Rebecca Lee, who is that amazing human who is taking pictures and videos alongside that other amazing human taking pictures. So if you see them, say hello. There they are, I see you. Really amazing humans. The exhibition that you're seeing in this slideshow is also being showcased digitally throughout the conference and virtually on both the SNAG website and the Queer Metalsmiths website. So we do also have a little mini exhibit over there alongside Adorned Spaces. So please come take a look, say hi, and experience some of this incredible work in person. So we had a huge response and 76 artists, over 100 pieces in the exhibition. And I'm happy today to introduce 3 of those artists and delve into their process and their work a little bit more. So we have Diane Morales, she, they, from Austin, Texas. Kristen Diane Morales is a Hispanic queer activist artist who focuses on women, LGBTQIA+, and minority rights, particularly in bridging the gap in communication between certain issues and their impact. Feel free to give a round of applause here. And next we have Isabella Clark, they, she, from Kenosha, Wisconsin. Isabella Clark is a Black queer artist from Kenosha, Wisconsin, in case you weren't sure the first time, with a BFA degree from UW Whitewater, mentored under Teresa Ferris. Their work consists of mixed materials and metal to create pieces that center around race, mental health, and intersectionality. You're fast learners, I like that. And here we have Mercede Sheybani, she, her, San Fran, here in this lovely state of California. And Mercede Sheybani, did I say your last name right? Cool, whew, forgot to ask. Originally from Iran, is currently pursuing an MFA in Jewelry and Metal Arts of the Academy of Art in San Francisco. So now we're going to jump into some of the questions that we asked participants in this exhibition and give folks a chance to share a little bit more about their work. So the first question is, what does being queer mean to you in relation to your material choices? Is it something you consider or not? Diane, I'd love to start with you. See if you have better luck with this mic than I did.
Well, we're gonna find out.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You shouldn't have given us
me?
mics and put us on a stage, by the way.
Okay?
You're not going anywhere.
This is what happens when you trust us. Just everybody's partly to blame. Well, when it comes to my materials specifically, I feel like we're still in a way we need to educate people about the queer community. I essentially see myself as an anglerfish is the best way I could explain it, is that I don't want to have anything too gory or too openly gay, because since I am from Texas and I do have a lot of Mexican family members that don't necessarily understand the queer community at this point, I feel like it's not to put it out there, just have queer materials just right out of the gate, because of the harmful stereotypes that have come with the gay community and the harmful stereotypes and jokes that come along with it. So at this point, I believe as a political artist, I want to have it as simple, as basic as it can be, so that way the concept will be carried out. So that way, if they have anything to criticize me of, it's the concept. Because if they're like, oh, well, it's too queer, oh, it's too gory, oh, X, Y, and Z, at least they could only fight me on the concept, which is what I believe is the most important part of being a political artist.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Listen, if you want to clap, go for it. I'm never gonna say don't clap. Let's give our people their love and support while they're here, right? Especially this. This is amazing. Isabella, would you like to answer? Do you want me to repeat the question?
Yes, please.
I know, because your brain does a fuzzy thing when you get up here. What does being queer mean to you in relation to your material choices? Is it something you consider or not?
I mean, it's something that I think I consider unconsciously, because for me, queerness is about not being normative or being restricted to any one material. So I love fibers, and I love being able to combine fibers with metals, and I think you can get more emotions and rhythms and storytelling through all of that. And I think just like generationally, I have like a strong relationship with fibers passed down from my grandmother and my great grandmother with quilting and just making clothing. And I think it's really important to be able to embed that in everything that we do. I think unconsciously our queerness is kind of put into all of our art pieces. And so, yes, to answer the question, yes.
Yes, I got that. Thank you. You know I'm not mad about a cheat sheet. I got my own, so. Mercede, do you want me to repeat the question again? Okay.
Thank you.
You got it.
I choose material that reflect the celebrating diversity. For example, I use real hair and rainbow color to show the unity of human experiences. Each material I select helps tell a story about being different and celebrating that difference. The material and texture I use depend on the story behind each piece.
True, yes. Love it, thank you. What, why you, did I say pass that mic? I'm gonna come back to you.
Okay.
Ooh, I know, we gotta mix it up a little. Is the work queer because the maker is queer, or is it queer because the subject matter is queer? And what I realized that we didn't add in there is it not queer?
This is my favorite question. Sorry, maybe should I? Okay. I believe the work is queer because of both the maker and the subject matter. As a queer artist, my experience and identity naturally influence my art. At the same time, the themes I explore, like freedom, transformation, and unity, and deeply connected to queer experiences. So it's a mix of who I am and what I choose to express. The personal touch I bring as a queer artist makes the art resonate with queer themes.
Thank you. Amazing. You got this? You want me to do another round?
Yes, please.
Let's do this. It's also good for y'all, you know? Is the work queer because the maker is queer? Or is it queer because the subject matter is queer? Or is it not queer?
I think for me, it becomes a question of, is it authentically queer? Because I think anyone can technically make art that is about queerness or has queer people in it, or the subject matter is queer, but unless it's told by a queer person, it isn't an authentically queer piece. For example, if a heterosexual person made a piece of art that was about queerness, it can only be through the lens of heterosexuality and viewing that queerness. So I think it's just really important to take in consideration, the context of the artist, because I think that creates the context of the piece.
Very cool. Thank you.
Now it's going to sound like I'm copying your answer, and I swear I'm not. But I believe that it's essentially, I know, right? I mean, we're all queer. This is kind of. But from my point of view, it's essentially the perspective of where we get these ideas, because anybody could get inspiration from anything. There's a bunch of stories that have queer characters in it that anybody could get inspired by it. However, when it comes to specifically my political art, it's something that I'm it's not necessarily talked about in the main stages of political spectrums. Specifically speaking, since I do have female anatomy, I was born female at birth, a lot of people just think that I'm making women's art, which for some I am. But however, I'm also thinking about the intersex people that don't necessarily apply to whatever genitalia they have, whatever policies and laws are being made. So I feel like that's also something that we need to bring into the conversation as well, because it is a gay and queer perspective. I think it doesn't necessarily mean that you have, it's almost like if you're inherently born Mexican or you're culturally Mexican, it's essentially how you carry yourself out. If this is what you believe, this is the perspective you're going to see. And this is a perspective we should be showing, because it hasn't been shown for who knows how long.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we went through, okay. We are moving right through this. All right, now it starts to get even a little more juicy here. This is an opportunity where we ask the artists if there's anything else that you'd like to share about your practice. This could be an important part of the process. It could be sourcing materials. It could be research. You want to take it away there, friend?
All right.
And also feel free if you want to stand up and show this amazing
Show off?
piece. Yeah,
Of course.
they gave us the stage, so if you want to dance, go for it.
I didn't think this ahead. All right. Well, when it comes to specifically this piece, I always make puns, because I feel like if it makes somebody laugh, at least I did one good thing in my life. So this is essentially called the woman's glass box, because I feel like women in general have that glass ceiling. And then I started feeling, because I have issues with my uterus, when I went to the doctor, they're like, well, guess what? You probably won't be able to have a kid. I'm like, that's fine. I don't necessarily need to have a kid. Until the political spectrum started coming into my bedroom, into my doctor's office saying, well, are you even still a female? When it comes to me, I like to look at the historical precedence of where it did come from, where we started questioning this, and then pairing that with the hypocrisy of it. Essentially, this piece was made after Diogenes, if anybody likes philosophical questions. It's essentially of what is a man? And essentially they believe that if you get a chicken, plucked it, that's a man. It's a two-legged animal. Normal enough. With the policies that I see in Texas, since I'm from Austin, it's essentially boiled down to the size of your uterus. This is actually the size of an average uterus, which is 4 by 8 by 5, if anybody was wondering, in centimeters, by the National Medicine Library, if anybody was wondering. I made a woman. As anybody want to know, if all these policies are just based off of your uterus, which is the size of your palm, I made a woman, just like Diogenes made his man. I made my woman and I'm wearing it. Does it really apply to who I am and what I'm doing? Probably not, but if this is what the policies and makers want to do, this is what I want to show. Not inherently gay, to make people talk to me, to make people actually ask questions about it before they freak out and realize, oh my God, this is gay feminist art, that's absolutely fine. My anglerfish comes out in that.
Yes. Woo! Told you it'd get juicy. Isabella, is there anything else you'd like to share about your practice? This could be an important part of the process, sourcing materials, or research.
So I make a lot of art and do a lot of research on Black female stereotypes and how they are still prevalent in today's society. Specifically, I like to channel that with topsy-turvy dolls, which if some of you don't know, they are dolls that are sewn together at the hip, and they were historically created by African-American mothers to prepare their children for a life of having to be a slave and having to care for a white child and maybe having to prioritize that child over their own. So these topsy-turvy dolls would have one white baby on one side and then a black baby on the other. So I decided to create a line of topsy-turvy dolls. I created 8 in total, but the one that I brought today is Topsy Friggy and Topsy Bloom, which, yes, please. Which this topsy-turvy doll is specifically talking about asexuality. As an asexual person, I am often unseen and not as represented. So I wanted to create a piece that helped share some of these stereotypes and really get people to think of why they maybe place other people in certain boxes. This piece is based off of a flower. It is a Japanese orchid called L. nigricans. That may not be the correct pronunciation, but it's a flower that never blooms. But it can still bear fruit and still thrive in its environment. So the only way to actually see this flower and see it bloom is if you tear open its petals, which I, place Velcro over the petals, so when you actually open it, it rips it open. And
This is part ASMR
little
at this point?
ASMR for you, y'all.
right here.
There you go.
And the faces on both of these are brooches that you can take off and wear on the body. And it shows the idea of frigidness, which is a woman's inability to perform sexually for a man. And I wanted to challenge this with thinking like, why do we need to perform sexually to be considered a woman, similar to what you were saying, Diane, that we are so much more than that. And I wanted it to be a symbol of empowerment, but also reflection. So this is my Topsy Bloom piece, which she is in distress. And on the other side is my frigid piece, which she is at peace with herself and can still be considered a woman or a femme-presenting individual and not limited by whatever these stereotypes are placed upon them. So that is about my piece.
Woo! Yeah. Yeah, you answered the question. Thank you. Mercede. You want me to read the question
Yes,
again?
please.
Of course. The question is, I know what the question is, but I'm going to read it anyway. Anything else you would like to share about your practice? This could be an important part of the practice, of the process, sourcing materials, or research.
I always research. I really like to learn about other artists over there. The piece I want to talk right now, this piece. This is my first piece I made, inspired with my one of my instructor. She encouraged me, and that's why I wear that today. Maybe I think this is a good thing to encourage other people to speak out. This is look like an armor for me, and it was the first time I show to like friends, some of my families, like like about the queer, and this is a biggest step for me. And yes, I use the material because I like to tell the story with my work. Art is the universal language. And as you see, I have some struggle sometimes with my language. This is my most difficult thing. And but when I make something, I can send my message, and this is the best thing for me. And it's look like, I don't know the good word for that, but it's look like a trophy, or like help me to talk, but with my hand, or like a material, and I pass the story.
Storytelling
Yes.
through your work.
Yes, this is answer, and I just keep my cheat sheet here because
Ooh,
it's,
look at you.
yeah, it's hard to follow it.
Would you mind sharing a little bit about, we also have the in-person display, and one of your pieces is there. Would you
Oh.
mind sharing a little bit about that piece, just to give some folks a little more context, so when they see it, they can
The
really
pyramid?
experience how powerful it is?
Sure. And the pyramid, um, as I said, I'm from
I know I'm
Iran.
putting you on the spot, and you're
Yeah.
doing great, and you're gonna do great.
Thank you. Um, I am from Iran, and I just, as you know, if you see on the news, we have a revolution last year, women life freedom. And I thought, as many other people, we thought we should do something, we should support, we should talk, and it's not be, we should talk about our people or the people around the world about in humanity and freedom. It's a rapper. I have here his picture. Yeah. Thank you. To my Salehi, he's a rapper and activist. He's a very, he fight just with his word, with his art. And before he's arrested on 22, in his last song, he said, it it was a pyramid, and he said, we come from the bottom, and we will go to the top. And I have in my sheets, I don't know where is that right now. And yeah, but the message is kind of like, if we are all together, we can win. Why I made that? Because he's a very pure person. He's very inspiring, all people, and he's in jail, and they want to execute him. And I will share more when you
Yeah.
show the picture, and I can read from that.
Of course.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, looking to the future, can you share something you're excited about? Do you have any new work or work that you're looking forward to completing? Any upcoming exhibitions, projects, travel for research, and so on?
Yes. All pieces I made, it's they are all my school projects, and because I just graduated 2 weeks ago. Thank you. Thank you. Um, all of them, it's about my thesis. My thesis titled "Prisoners of Geography." I use my inspiration about that is the reasons makes people immigrate, as I did. Sometimes it's not a good things, most of the time, and I choose the reasons and make a piece for that. After that, now I have more freedom to make more pieces in not just in one themes, or like just about immigration. Now I feel so much better. Many ideas come to mind, and when I see the other artists or piece, I really admire them. I want to research about artists. I really want to connect it with artists because I always learn a lot from them, their vision. And my plan is at least make one piece every year to be connected with all beautiful people.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Isabella, you're up next. Looking to the future, can you share something you're excited about? Do you have any new work or work you're looking forward to completing in the studio? Any upcoming exhibitions, projects, travel for research, etc.?
All right.
Mixing it up, y'all.
I'm still continuing to do more research on stereotypes and seeing ways that I can help bring awareness to this and also empower other Black femme individuals. I am also a recent graduate in the past year, so I have been, working and, oh, thank you. I have been doing research and gathering my own materials, so hopefully I can have a studio of my own so I can continue doing my work and making connections. I hope to see more Black, brown, and Indigenous people of color, and especially queer people in this community and making more work and getting the recognition that they deserve. So yeah, that is for me.
That's awesome. Thank you. Do you want me to
I think
read
it's
it, the
fine.
question, or you got it?
I got it.
I could come up with a different voice.
Oh, different voice. Let's go.
You want a different voice?
Yeah.
All right. Looking to the future. Diane, can you share something you're excited about? Do you have any new work or work you're looking forward to completing in the studio? Any upcoming exhibitions, projects, travel for research, etc.?
Well, thank you. I appreciated the voice. Yeah,
Yeah,
clap
you
for her.
can- I mean, you can
Yeah,
laugh.
clap for them. Clap for them. That was hard work. Well, for me, as of right now, since I do a lot of political work, for those that do not know, I have PTSD. After a while, you need a break of political art every once in a while. Looking at social media, looking at everything is hard for everybody. And after a while, I feel like my political pieces were contributing to making people anxious, including myself. So the next few pieces I'm actually making is from the queer experience of having PTSD, having people not believe you, having to explain the reasons why you have PTSD every single time, and just showing the mental toll that it has on everybody, because just as queerness isn't necessarily talked about, the mental health community is also, could be better, it could be better. So as of right now, I'm actually studying in psychology. I already have my bachelor's of fine arts, and hopefully towards the future, what my main goal is to try to find an art therapy program for everybody that will be inclusive, that will be open to everybody, and hopefully will be a safe space for everybody to talk about it, whether they have mental illness or not, whether they are queer or not, but it's a safe place for everybody, especially from our community.
Woo! So we would love to open it up for a little Q&A if folks have questions. I don't know if there's a mic. We're not sharing our microphone, so. If you have a question, if you want to raise your hand or shout it out and
I'll get it.
oh,
I have the microphone and I had ability.
Hi, I think there's quite a few artists in the audience who are in your exhibition, and maybe you could ask them to stand up and say hi.
yes, I was going to do it at the end.
Oh,
but-
sorry.
No,
I
it's
couldn't
okay.
wait. I couldn't
We
wait
can do
any
it now
longer.
and at the end, because you know we like acknowledgement and applause here. If you are part of the In Focus exhibition, whether it's virtual, in person, please stand up and be acknowledged with your extraordinary work. at these beautiful people. Woo! Good call. Good call. Thank you.
I'll be your runner if you need.
I mean, well, you know what? Say your question. I'll repeat it on the mic. Okay? That way you
All right.
can, because there'll be questions for you, I'm sure. That way you don't have to run around, but thank you, Boo. Beth. So the question is, how can other artists, jewelry businesses be an ally to the community? Anyone? I'm not going to pick on this one. You jump up. You got something to say. Say it.
Well, I honestly think, one, if me personally, since I'm married to a straight man, essentially the way he likes to support with his art is essentially just prove allyship if they're not queer. And if they are queer, just talking about the queer experience, because as far as I am concerned, in my perspective, que no vale nada, for those that don't speak Spanish, that doesn't mean anything. But it's essentially just showing that you're gonna be there, showing that you are present for the community, even going to like queer markets, just to show that you are part of the community, even if it's an ally, because we need allies, we support allies. And I think that's probably one of the best ways to support, like, at least for me as a queer artist, if I saw you at any queer festivals, I was like, I know she's an ally, I know I could rely on them. They're a safe place. Anybody else?
I think another way that you can help support queer artists is to uplift their voices and uplift their works, because, you know, queer people are everywhere, and I think they're just waiting to be able to show everything that they have to show to the world. So I think just continue to be supportive and continue to go out of your way to highlight some of these artists that may not get the same amount of recognition that they would to their heteronormative counterparts.
I'll just add that, you know, even little things like pronouns, like there's some things I look for to kind of gauge safety and inclusivity. One of them is pronouns on things. Having a good old rainbow flag, honey. I mean, if you walk by someplace and there's a rainbow flag, you know that there's at least some level of safety and inclusion possible in that space. Yeah, and I love the idea of being able to, you know, like, if you're in a position where you can share work, take a chance on a young, or even if they're not young, but like an emerging artist, you know, who has maybe less experience and less, maybe they don't have, you know, the academic accolades, but they have work and they have a heart and passion and they want to share that, you know? So, great question.
So when we're thinking about representation and sort of looking back at your younger self to like now, can you remember when there was a shift of when you didn't see yourself represented to when you did see that first queer artist or queer person like in the media that you were like, I have value. There's others.
I could start again.
Kick it off.
For me, I think for me, the shift was the fact that I didn't see any representative, especially with the political realm and personally for me, was just the fact that I realized that we were being very excluded. And to the point that every once in a while, because I'm not exactly the most feminine person in the world, even now, just looking at celebrities, it's still not there yet. So I don't think I had the shift because I felt safe. I actually had the shift probably because I felt angry about the fact that there was no open, inclusive spaces, that the political sphere was keeping essentially our voices out. So for me personally, it became less of people aren't gonna listen all the time, but at least I could make them see a different way. Even if they don't hear me, they at least have to close their eyes too. That's the way I saw it. I don't know about you guys.
Same. I feel like I also haven't seen as much representation, especially seeing Black queer folks, and more specifically, Black asexuality. Asexuality as a whole is not really as talked about because it's not considered as interesting, but I beg to differ. So it's been really empowering to be able to create art about Black asexuality and asexuality as a whole, and to be able to put that out into the universe so that it can also empower other people to come out with their own experiences and their own orientations and feel comfortable and in a safe space to talk about it. So,
All right. Thank you all so much. This was an amazing conversation. Please give another round of applause for our incredible panelists. And I won't make you stand up again, but let's give another round for the folks in the audience. Thank you so much for being here and submitting your work. So please come visit us, say hi over there, and you can also visit the SNAG and Queer Metalsmiths websites to check out the full virtual exhibition and learn more about each of the artists and the work they do. You can follow us at Queer Metalsmiths with an S, not just one, multiple, and or queermetalsmiths.com. Thank you, SNAG, again, for providing this opportunity for us to uplift all of these incredible artists and share their work with you. Thank you to all of the artists, and thanks to each of you for being here today and supporting us, because A is in the alphabet, and that also stands for ally. So you're under our umbrella. If you want to be here with us, we got room under here for you, and we appreciate you. Thank you so much, y'all.